we'll mention these two guys first, and then Benton's going to cut into some Georgia football.
Okay.
Guys, let me tell you something. Now, this goes for both of us. So we both got Alabama and Georgia because we both got to play Tennessee. Let me tell you what.
Tennessee's going to be good.
Joe and Nico are two fine quarterbacks. Tennessee is going to be just as good as they was.
So what you're saying is either whoever their quarterback is, they're going to be fine.
There's no letdown from Hendon Hooker to neither one of these guys.
It's kind of like last year. Milton was good. I mean, they didn't let down when Hooker went out.
Wait till you see Nico play.
What's his last name? Isn't it something?
Yeah, I ain't gonna try.
Nicolaja?
No.
Oh, is it not that easy?
Some long
one that is probably not pronounced anything like it looks.
Tennessee's got two really good quarterbacks, and they're really not going to be any letdown. So be looking for Dog fans and Bama fans that Tennessee's going to be tough to handle. Now, they will beat Alabama, and Georgia will have to go to Tennessee.
Georgia has to go to Tennessee.
So good luck this year, Dogs, up there at Neyland Stadium, because
I went by there the other day.
That's going to be a handful to deal with, and that's going to be a hot pickle. Benton, I'm going to do some Ole Miss stuff, but go ahead and tell us about Georgia. What do you know about some spring ball or quarterback situations? Y'all are sold on Beck. He's the guy, and that's just it. Is that it?
Well, Beck is Beck, I would say, is the leader in the clubhouse. Beck is the one that is in the early session that my friends get to view. They see Beck taking reps with the ones, followed by Vandergriff and then Gunnar Stockton at 3. Beck also is the one that communicates more with the new OC, which we all know who that is, the new old OC. Bobo. Yeah, so I think Carson Beck, I think it's his time. I think the other kids, they're going to leave it as a competition, just because that's what you're supposed to do, to try to keep all of them. And we'll see if they all stay. A lot of people talk about people are going to leave. So
that's what I was fixing to ask you. If they don't get it, Vandergriff and Stockton, do you think they're gone?
I would say it's possible, but I don't know, man. Because I mean they're both still young. Vandergriff, is not exactly an old fella, and he's also from right there in Athens.
Prince Avenue, right?
His whole life. And Gunnar Stockton ain't far down the road. I mean, he went to Rayford County. So, I mean.
From what I've heard about Vandergriff, though, it's just a shame for him to be sitting on the bench. But, that's how things go. Mac Jones did it.
He's great.
Oh, I heard Vandergriff's just fabulous.
He's my guy.
He's a good player.
If I'm a Georgia Dog fan, I'm jumping up and down. I don't care. I did see Beck. He did play last spring. He's good. I don't know, man. Vandergriff just has some kind of snap on the ball for me.
Yeah.
He's good.
Where did Beck play at, Benton?
Beck played in Miami's area, I believe, down in Florida.
Well, he's good then. I don't even think you have to. If you live down there, you're good at football.
I'll tell you this.
You got to play.
You play football? No. Where are you from? Mondays. Bring him on in. I didn't
play. I had groceries at the Aldi's. Come on.
This didn't come from me. This didn't come from me. This came from one of my friends. But he said he would not be surprised to see Carson Beck in the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Not winning it, but he wouldn't be surprised if he was there this year. Did you cut me off?
That's a bold statement.
Did you cut me off?
No, I hit the wrong button, cut me off.
No, you're good at, but that's one of the impressions that I'm getting, and that is a bold statement. I personally have not seen enough to make that claim, but I think he'll end up being your quarterback.
Vandergriff's going to wind up somewhere like Oklahoma or something. I don't know.
I just don't think he goes. I don't have the feeling that he's going anywhere.
Now, the kid from Brookwood, Jeff mentioned this a while ago. There's a kid from Brookwood High School, Dylan Longerin. I talked about him a few. I did some Bama quarterback breakdown. He's supposed to be really good. he's supposed to be good. So he's another guy to talk about. Now, what about spring practice? Now, running the ball wise, have you read anything on 24/7 Dawgs about how practices went last week, or things are still normal, or is Kirby P at them? Or
I hear reports here and there, pretty much daily on them. But Kendall Milton is going to be him, and Dejon Edwards is going to be your probably 1-2 guys. Branson Robinson obviously is some people call the next Nick Chubb, but he's going to be a good player. And then Andrew Paul, young kid, is trying to put his name into that. So,
where's the Pollard kid from?
You talking about Andrew Paul?
Yeah, I remember. I read about him.
I don't exactly remember where he's from, but I do have their roster right here. So
it seemed like he wasn't from around here. I remember being surprised at. So I was thinking, why didn't he stay? Wherever he was at or something.
Didn't Edwards play at Colquitt?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think when we had Coach Probst on here, he mentioned him.
Yeah, he said he played for him his
freshman year.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to be Georgia's receivers, Ben?
The receiving core, they talk like they're going to be better.
With Mitchell leaving?
Yeah. You got your couple that you pick up. You got Ra Thomas coming in.
Oh, that's right.
Now
I forgot about
Dominique Lovett coming in. You still have Arian Smith to go along with Ladd McConkey, Marcus Rosemary Jack Saint, other people like Delon Morissette that you ain't heard much of, Dylan Bell, those guys. They're going to be pretty good. I think overall athletically,
pretty good. Again, of course, who's y'all's tight end now?
Yeah, I think Brock Bowers will be.
Washington is going in the first round, is he not?
He might, just because I think the NFL teams love the ability for him to catch it and be an extra lineman on the end of the line.
Well, you got the best tight end in the country, hands down, I would think.
Him and Latu and I mean they're kettles,
Yeah.
They're going to make some money one day.
Yeah,
I think you're going to see the number 2 tight end have a good year too. Oscar Delp, he's a 5-star player. He's a good tight end, and he's gonna get some reps as well.
Where did he play at? Oh, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I watched him high school. He played around there.
What happened to the guy that played at Marietta that was so good that went to LSU and come back to Georgia?
Yeah, I think he went elsewhere.
Okay,
he
can play too.
West Forsyth.
West Forsyth.
6'5", 225. I watched him on Rivals back before the season started. I picked him up in the Rivals camp stuff, looking at the stuff.
Really?
Yes, he can do it, man. He's good.
Georgia's
not going to be hurting for talent.
Got everybody back on defense, pretty much, right? A lot back.
They're going. I mean, if Staquintus Bennett, if he's the guy, I mean, if I was Staquintus, cousin Staquintus, we're like 6 cousins. You didn't know that, did you? That's why I was pulling for him. Those 2 other guys throw the ball better than he does. I don't know why they couldn't. Now, the defense, they may give up a few points more, but they're not going to be bad.
It's not going to be bad.
No, Tennessee's going to give them a tough game at Tennessee.
Yeah, I think it'll be a tough game.
Well, the thing about it now is that you can lose a game.
They can light it up, man.
You can about lose 2 because, I mean, Bama nearly got in that Final Four. There was a lot of talk about putting them in that Final Four, and they had 2 losses.
Somebody says
you can lose the game, and it's not going to hurt you a bit.
Depends on when you lose.
Depends on when, right?
You don't want to lose a game late. If you don't want to lose a game close to Thanksgiving or first, you don't need to lose any November games. Now, if you lose one in September, the committee's going to forget about it. You may get bumped down to 6 on the list, but you got enough games to win back in.
It look good again.
You can win back in. But with SEC teams and what the North people, Jeff, he's an Ohio State guy. A lot of the Northern teams play sometimes a better opponent later in the season. They won't have an open.
Right.
Whereas Bama is going to start with Texas, or Georgia plays Oregon, or we're going to start with some premier game,
right,
and then have an open week, usually before Florida or Auburn or something like that.
We'll see.
But you're still playing a cream puffs is what they call it teams, and that's where all the controversy between fans, which is fun. But all teams play the cream
All
puff
teams. All teams.
But that's going away.
You know,
that's going away.
We all say, "Hey, who you playing this week?" Floyd Junior College, but you know, they all do it except the Pac-12. They do not do it.
Well, they don't have to because their teams are cream puffs.
They already got them on the
saying they don't do it on paper.
But now the Pac-12 fans, I'm sorry, let me reiterate that they have really turned it up.
They have.
UCLA, Coach Kellingham's doing a good job. USC, dude, Lincoln's going to kill it out there. They got a Heisman winning quarterback.
Yeah.
Oregon has Bo Nix coming back. They're going to be good. Don't be surprised if Oregon State Beavers are not pretty good too.
Oh gosh, they were real good
Oregon
last year.
State, Oregon, UCLA, USC, Utah.
And I hate to hurt feelings, and I think y'all will agree with this. I know my partner here will. I don't think Deion does well this first year.
I'm gonna say he wins 5 games.
I'm talking about what I'm talking about. You know, you got people going, this guy's going to go 9-3 and 8-4.
No.
I just don't see that.
No.
Yeah, I think he can win 5.
I got him for 5 games.
But their schedule's brutal.
We looked at it.
Yeah.
They broke a schedule down here one week about a month ago.
It's brutal.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But he is recruiting well. And speaking of Coach Sanders, I do follow him on Well Off Media. Guys, go check it out. I like it. Deion Sanders hadn't cussed. He just has never cussed.
He don't cuss.
No.
No.
Runs a tight football team, and he just hired Sal Sunseri.
Who does cuss?
Well, but he hired him to run the help during. He's going to help run the defense and linebacker stuff.
He's a good coach.
And you know he's a good coach.
He is.
So Deion is slamming the page for the coaches. He's got in a bunch of good players. I know, and I heard one of the guys on ESPN said the other day that they just got a bunch of guys that are like from non-power fives. Yeah, maybe so. Some of them are. But he ain't even giving out jersey numbers.
Right.
Because he's making them earn it. They're earning their numbers. I think.
He's tough on them now.
This week, I think they're actually going to earn their jersey numbers.
Well, you know, I think the smartest thing he did was bringing in that Mike Zimmer to call his defense. That was smart.
He knows what.
That
Look,
was smart.
let's just take a step back and look at what it is from 5,000 feet. You win by just the same way Bama and Georgia has.
Mm-hmm.
You have a staff. How did LSU win it that year? Coach O, what'd he do? He
Yeah,
brought in Brady in there.
Yeah, he ought to get credit for that instead of people saying, just won because of his coaches.
No.
He hired them.
Nick Saban, why did he win? Because he had Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
And without Kirby, he's not been very successful. Now, Kirby's put together staff. Now, this is why Georgia's going to lose a game this year because of Bobo, because he's an idiot. Now, that's a fail on Kirby's part, and I've emailed him about it, and we're going to talk about it probably tomorrow. I'm looking for a response.
Call me when he.
Yeah, but Kirby, we're on first name basis. Curb, what's
He's
up?
a nice guy. I was in a room with him one time on a phone call, and he came in the room making a phone call too, and we spoke.
Yeah, I did. When we was in Tuscaloosa, he come through. He was on the phone, had his glasses on his nose.
Yeah, that's
he just waved.
Yeah,
just kind of waved. He was on the phone. But Bobo's going to be the failure of Georgia. I just don't like him. I ain't never liked him. I didn't like him as a player. I remember not really. I'm not a Georgia, not a fan. I like Georgia.
You've never been much of a. You're not a Georgia hater.
No, not at all. I mean, they're close, and I worked in Georgia so much. It's okay. I mean, I'm not rooting for them all the time. They play Bama, of course not.
I like to see them do well.
Yeah, but I'm a realist. I just don't like Bobo. Why they don't run that guy off?
You don't like?
Well, he never had players, and by God, Matt, when you go back and look at it, the statistics say they had the highest scoring offense they've ever had when Bobo. I know, but look who you had: Murray and Stafford.
He had Murray. Yeah, he had Murray one time, and Todd Gurley.
Stafford could throw a football through a wooded, slatted piece of wood.
Marino. He had Marino.
Piece of oak wood.
Did you like him?
I mean, the first time he was here, I just felt like we did some dumb things. I mean, I'm not going to jump on his case because obviously I got to be as positive I can being a Georgia fan. But
I think where he catches a lot of heat, and it's not just Matt's not the only person. A lot of people give him heat. Is the off the wall stuff he supposedly seems to do every now and then.
Like,
would you agree?
Run
with
it
that?
on 1st and 2nd down, and then try to throw it on 3rd and 12. I mean,
I'm gonna shoot my TV. I mean, I can't take it. I just can't take it. I'm not, and my wife's like, "Why are you going nuts? You're not even a Georgia fan." I like football. He's stupid. I just don't like him.
We can't. Yeah, I know. We've been mad all day at these ball games. All these threes being shot.
Well, what's more aggravating with those games is the 5-minute commercial will come back, one shot, 5-minute commercial.
Yeah.
God, it drives me nuts.
Did y'all mention Oregon State earlier? Is that who you're talking about? Yeah, actually, the running back, the Rome Wolf running back, he's a redshirt junior at Oregon State, Jemias Griffin.
He did well there this year, didn't he?
He did very well, yeah.
I forgot about that. He went to Georgia Tech first, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
And I saw where he had a good year. He had 400, 500, 600 yards, maybe.
Yeah, about 500 or so.
I think. His stats. I know he finally got steady playing time.
Yeah.
He was a stud now. He's wrong.
Oh, he was a stud. He rushed for about 500.
Go out on a limb here and say if you rush for 2,800 yards in Georgia 4A, you're probably pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they got him in good looking shape too. He'll be poised for a big year this year.
Yeah, now he was not their feature back, but he did get it a lot, right?
Yeah, you're right. You are right.
You may look that up, Benton.
It was about 488 yards.
Okay. But that was the best he'd done, right?
Yeah, that's the best he'd done. Really the best opportunity that he had had. We didn't talk about – I'll finish up about Georgia and then I'll shut up. But we didn't talk about the defense too much. And people say the defense is it might take time. But also I've heard the other side say they could be more athletic than they have been. So, you lose Nolan Smith and the guys, but, Nolan Smith wasn't there during the playoff run. So, I mean, a lot of people had to step up.
No, that's right. He was not.
You got, on the defensive line wise, you lose your big tackle. But there's a couple in there that could replace him. Jamal Jarrett is an early enrollee that come in last year, and he actually got hurt during the bowl practice. But he's about 6'5", about 350. So they're hoping to get him down to about 320, 330, and have him in the center of the defensive line of scrimmage.
We went through the Georgia schedule, and everybody knows it is what it is, and
yeah.
When nobody's trying to pull no punches, it's a terribly easy schedule.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it could be that easy.
Yeah, except for South Carolina, outside of South Carolina and Tennessee.
That's the one I'm curious about. Can Rattler, jump something back in there? Can he? Can he?
Good question.
I'm curious about that. What else you got from Georgia? What's Kirby told you this week?
Insider.
I would say that your free safety spot is Malachi Starks is to lose, and I think he's a heck of a player. You got a transfer that's coming in too. Yeah, you got a transfer coming in from Kentucky. Smoke Bouye will be in the secondary as well. He's a transfer guy, which is the first time we really pulled out of the transfer market. So
that is a great name.
Yeah,
like
Smoke Monday.
He played Kentucky.
Kavosky Smoke played it. Kavosky.
Yeah, Smoke Bouye. Yeah,
Smoke Bouye.
Yeah, and then you've obviously got the guys that's left over, Javon Bullard and Tyke Smith, and I like the way both of those guys. Spring is went, and I keep hearing Kamari Lassiter's name, so he'll be another guy back there. So plenty of talent, like any other big-time program. Plenty of talent.
Yeah, and playing good in high school competition is always good, and we'll get into some hotty-totty, who is the QB, good God Almighty. Number one, 24/7 had Arch Manning, going to be number one quarterback. And we've talked about that. However, Spencer Sanders and Jackson Dart, well, now also Walker Howard
Right. You told me that. Yeah.
He could be a guy to come on and play at Ole Miss, but just kind of short and quick, I guess. I don't know how Spencer Sanders couldn't win this job.
I think Dart's good.
But he don't have 7,000 passing yards and 70 touchdowns.
Yeah, but
He's not a 4-year starter. But he does know the system. Jackson does. I would assume that Spencer wins this job. He's going to take it away from Jackson.
As good as he did.
But this guy's better.
That's just that whole. I'm not going to comment. That whole situation's weird. I've been going asking my coach why he brought in a 4-year starter. I mean, I thought
so he could win.
Well, he won with Dart.
More.
He's not going to win no more with Sanders than he did Dart.
They lost the last 3 games,
but not because of Dart.
Well, I don't know why not. He threw 2 picks in the last half of that game, the end of the season. Sanders is better. I mean, even when they were in high school, 24/7 Sports, he's an elite 11 5-star quarterback. Jackson Dart was good, but he's not an elite 11 camp winning guy. I would say Sanders, and just what you said, why would he come to?
Well, I understand if Sanders is going to go
why would he come to compete? Sanders went to win. I don't see why he would go not thinking he's got the job.
Oh, I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
He's got more time. He's got more yards. He's played, but
I think it'll be a great race.
But Jackson's played in the system.
With that. I don't disagree with that.
He's played in the system.
Because Sanders was great at Oklahoma State.
Yeah. But here's the other side of that. Jackson got you there. Played against better defense than what Sanders played against.
He did.
So if you swap them guys, so I'm interested to see how this plays out.
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, Benton, I kind of, now that I think about it, I don't know why he wouldn't start.
That's just my pick. I don't mean he's going to start. That's just my.
I can tell you this: as far as
hard to beat out.
Yeah.
As far as their numbers go, last year Jackson Dart had better numbers.
Yeah, he knows lane. He knows what to do.
Mm-hmm.
But Sanders is a high recruited style of quarterback,
and he can only play there 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he's just done this to maybe make Dart better? How much longer does Dart have after this year? This is not Dart's last year, right?
No.
Okay.
No, he is a sophomore.
I think Kiffin knows what he's doing.
Yeah, then that's the one thing. Like we're talking about.
And Dart didn't play great that last couple of games, but they didn't play. None of them played good their last couple of games. I don't know what happened.
Something happened.
I think they thought he was going to Auburn.
Yeah, that had to have something to do with it because I was on his Twitter page a lot. It seemed like it somewhat affected what was going on.
So they lost to Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, and they lost their bowl game, right?
Yes.
Wow, so they lost the last. No, they lost the last 3. They lost the last 3 or 4. They were 8-1 at one time.
Yeah.
Spencer Sanders went 13 for 26 for 147 yards and a pick against KSU and got beat 48-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play much after that. I think he was hurt. He was fantastic the year before. Fantastic. We had him being one of the top quarterbacks in the country.
Mm-hmm. At one time, yeah.
But now, as far as ability, I don't disagree with Matt at all. Yes, I think he can take his job, but I just thought I've gotten the impression that Kiffin is just a Jackson Dart man, 100%.
Yeah.
But you think he'll give it to? You think Sanders will win it?
I do.
That's going to be interesting.
If he don't, I won't be surprised. It would be embarrassing to Dart. Like, man, I was your guy last year, and he made some mistakes, and he wasn't great, but Sanders wasn't either. I mean,
not last year. I think he was injured. Oklahoma State went really downhill last year towards the end, and I think a lot of it had to do with injuries. Teams just don't get that work bad late in the year.
So he threw the ball 67 times against Oklahoma that last game. Had 4 picks.
Spencer Sanders did?
Yeah.
67 times?
67 attempts.
Yeah. I like him to. I like him to get the start. I think he's probably going to be the guy. But if Jackson does, you know.
Hey, I tell you what, they can go on and make Dart mad, and he can come over to Tuscaloosa.
That's a good segue. I was going to ask y'all.
Yeah.
Who do you think starts in Tuscaloosa this year?
It's got to be Simpson, man. I don't. Milroe's great. He needs to find him a spot.
It's like you said a while ago, he can run.
Nick needs to find him a place on the team. So he's got to be somewhere. He's just too darn fast and athletic, big and strong.
He is.
And he did make some good passes. But
he's not a good, great. He may be now.
He looked like old AR-15. So it reminds me of, sorry.
I mean, they're similar in stature, I'd say.
And there was people talking about him going to be number 1 overall. They're going to put Richardson.
Are they still talking that?
No. That's ridiculous.
C.J. Stroud is looking to be the number 1 guy.
What was all that about, guys?
Because his long jump and his vertical was the highest any quarterback. Vertical, long jump, high, longer than any quarterback, you know. And he was throwing good out there with nobody on the field. When you got ghosts running around out there, there's nothing going on.
I don't understand that.
Well, he blowed all the charts away with his numbers. But he's fast, he can jump, and he can run. We get all that. But he can't throw the football. I'll give you his numbers. He had 27, placing 14 picks.
14 picks.